starting this meeting. So I've called to order the school committee meeting for April 16th. Could everybody please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and good evening. So we have an agenda, not an agenda, I might add, that I put together, and it calls for the reorganization of the school committee. I do need to share with you an opinion that I got from town council, and I will read it. And it was in an email to Mike Hartman from Brian Riley. So the email is Mike. As we discussed, you asked for an opinion regarding the school committee rules for calling and conducting meetings. I understand that a school committee member, not the current chairman, has filed a notice of a committee meeting with the town clerk with an agenda of reorganization of the committee. The current chairman has cited subsection 311-23 of the town code for the method that the school committee must reorganize, and she has called a meeting for this purpose for April 29th. Section 311-23 provides for a reorganization meeting to be held in the superintendent's office at the first meeting following the election, and the superintendent presides over this meeting until a new chairman is elected by the members. In my opinion, this purported call of a meeting is inconsistent with the school committee's own regulations. I note that Chapter 311 of the Town Code is not part of the town charter or the general bylaws, as the code states that the chapter was originally adopted by the school committee in 1965 and subsequently amended. Nonetheless, a public body like the school committee may adopt its own internal rules and regulations of procedure, and those regulations will govern its procedure unless and until the committee amends them. I first note that subsection 311-26 governs special meetings of the school committee. A special meeting may be called by the chairman, the superintendent, or at the request of two members of the committee. So unless the committee member calling this special meeting has another member joining his request, this meeting is already inconsistent with the committee's own regulations. Moreover, Section 311-23 already establishes the annual procedure to elect a chairman at a regular meeting, and that meeting has been scheduled by the current chairman. Finally, subsections 311-31 and 311-32 govern how the school committee may amend or suspend its own regulations respectively. Viewing these regulations together, it is my opinion that the special meeting called by the school committee member Urel does not comply with the school committee's own regulations, and the committee will need to perform its reorganization in accordance with Section 311-23. Very truly yours, Brian Riley.
Joyce?
Dr. Urel?
It would have been good if you shared that opinion with the rest of the school committee before coming here. But you asked for an opinion to Brian Riley. I don't think Brian Riley has the full picture. And let me share with you and the audience. Oh, thank you. Can we have one?
Pass this down as well. Dr. Urel, I am not in the business of interpreting town code. It is why I, in fact, asked.
Well, you made an opinion.
I didn't make an opinion. The town council made an opinion.
So you tried to block this meeting, so we'll just deal with it. You need to let me speak. The town charter, it's not the town charter we are talking about,
The town code.
It was, as Brian Riley says, it's probably the school committee policies as of 1965, and I see a former school committee member here in the back. Maybe he can attest to that. But here are some examples. This is something the school committee doesn't obey anyways. For example, section 311.8, it says the committee may dismiss a teacher.
Dr. Ural, I'm not going to go through a list of things that have nothing to do, they have nothing to do with the matter at hand.
No, it's exactly to do with the, you're saying, you're trying to quote an obsolete piece of stuff in the town code, and as you know, the committee has discussed it. It says, section 311.23 that you quoted, it says, it shall be held in the office of the superintendent. We have never done that. No other committee has done that. We never meet in the superintendent's office. And it says the first meeting following the annual election in March. And you try to do this at the end of June. It says the committee shall elect a secretary. We never elect a secretary. It says the regular meetings of the committee shall be on the first and third Tuesday of each month. We never do that. We always meet the second and fourth Tuesdays. It also says any rule of regulation may be temporarily suspended at any meeting until the next meeting by the majority vote of the whole committee. 311.34 says, at all regular meetings of the committee, the order of business shall be as follows. We never follow that order. It says there shall be no standing committees, whereas you yourself appointed some standing committees this year, and we were all proud of that. So why did, if this code section was valid, why did we do that? That's why I move that we proceed with the reorganization.
Okay, Dr. Ural, I appreciate the work that you've done pulling all of this information in the code. I, however, am not an attorney, and on each of these I would have to ask for an opinion as to whether there is something newer that supersedes it, because giving me a snippet of what existed in 1965 may have individually been since amended in other ways. I have no ability to rule on that, nor would I ever dare to rule on that. It's a little disconcerting, however, that you called this meeting without ever asking the availability of our superintendent, of Dr. Brown, myself, or of Mrs. Shea. That is just absolutely inconsistent with how one conducts a public meeting. Clearly, Dr. Brown, first of all, Dr. Brown actually never received notification of the meeting change. The email that you sent did not address her.
I used her email address.
It is, you can read the banner of the email. I read it before I came today when I was made aware that she was not notified. None of us were asked for our availability. And I don't know how else to describe that type of meeting. But you have placed, all I can do is go by the ruling that I got from town council, which is an appropriate method for seeking an opinion on this type of matter. And you are placing the two newest members in a position of potentially making an illegal vote as their very first elected act. I think that at this point, there's nothing else on the agenda. To discuss this matter concerns me in terms of open meeting law, since if this meeting isn't valid, we should not be deliberating it at all.
I move I appeal the decision of the chair.
Second the motion.
How can you appeal? I don't understand.
You are trying to unilaterally block this meeting, and the members, you try to postpone this meeting to the end of June.
No, the meeting is April, I'm sorry, the meeting is April 29th.
I originally asked to move it to the end of June. Then you wanted to move it to April 29th. And you do not want this meeting to take place.
Dr. Ural.
You have taken if you shared that Brian Riley's letter, I could have eliminated him and he would have come with a decision. So you hid that from us.
Dr. Ural, let me explain.
Let me finish. I have asked the school committee lawyer if you had any questions to her about this, and she hasn't responded. And so you are making a decision to stop the meeting, not to let the reorganization to take place. And we can appeal the decision. The decision of the chair is being appealed from. So the membership is taking control because the chair is not acting as the board would want them to. So now you need to pose the question, shall the decision of the chair be sustained?
May I answer first to the allegations that you made? You said that I was postponing this reorganization until the end of June. That is not true. The vote of our own board last year was that we bypass the normal after the election and we abide by a cycle that coincides with the school year in terms of chair. But by law, we are to put the reorganization on the agenda for the meeting immediately following the election, which I did tell you in an email I would be doing. That was on the April 29th agenda. That fulfills the law.
I sent you the email asking that reorganization meeting be scheduled for April 15th.
And I asked you
I
why.
think Mr. Suarez did the same thing. You do not have to have a reason, but I don't know. I mean, why are you delaying the
But
inevitable?
you do need to have a board, and I get the inevitable. You do need to have a board available. How dare you not ask the other members and the superintendent of their availability?
I sent the email to the superintendent. I sent the email to assistant superintendent. If they choose not to come to the school committee meeting, that's not my problem.
Well, I'm
It's
sorry.
Also, Dr. Brown, I sent it to the regular email address, and it did not bounce. It did not bounce. So
You did not send the notification for Wednesday's meeting to Dr. Brown. But can I ask you a point of order? How do you intend to reorganize without turning the meeting over to the superintendent?
We don't need the superintendent.
That is, in fact, the town code, absolutely. That
What is the town code?
I don't have the code in front of me. The reorganization process is, at that meeting, you turn the control of the meeting for nomination over to the superintendent. And I don't know how you intend
We can
to...
do the nomination
I'm sorry, I am standing by the fact that I have a ruling on the specificity of this item being placed on the agenda for tonight's meeting as being an invalid, and I see no further discussion being allowed on this.
We have a motion and a second on the table.
An invalid
Appeal
one.
From the decision
I-
of the chair.
I am declaring as per, I'm declaring as per
All
the...
in favor
I'm-
of the decision to appeal the chair?
Aye.
Aye.
I am declaring that this meeting is adjourned
Oh,
based on the
that's your
validity.
choice.
Sorry.
Since
Any-
Ms. Husseini is declining from the rest of the meeting, I'm the chair.
Let me go on
Well,
record as saying this is a violation of open meeting law, and it will be noted.
That's fine. Nominations for the chair of the school committee.
I nominate that Dr. Earl be the chairman of the school committee.
Any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, I close the nominations. All in favor of Dr. Ural as the chair of the school committee?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3. The vice chair of the school committee. Any nominations for the vice chair?
Yes, I nominate Katie Enochian. Katie Pina Enochian. Excuse me, Katie.
Any other nominations? No? So I close the nominations for the vice chair. All in favor of Ms. Enochian as the school committee vice chair?
Aye.
Aye. So that's unanimous. I just wanted to say our heartfelt thanks to the previous members that served on this board, namely Ms. Deborah Sauvigny and Mr. George Dolinsky. We are grateful to them for the wonderful service they have done and they continue to do to the community. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Me.
Dr. Earl. Dr. Earl. Oh, you need a motion to adjourn.
I did. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. So can you make a motion to adjourn? Joe.
Would you please, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Right to second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mary.